Good evening. The topic for today's lecture is the gastrointestinal system. So before actually starting with what different parts are present in gastrointestinal system, let us first look at how our gastrointestinal system looks like. So here you can see in this picture on the right hand side that you have the gastrointestinal system starting with your mouth, which then moves on with the esophagus. Then you have your stomach. Then it moves on to the small intestine. So here what you see, this is the small intestine. Then this small intestine continues with the large intestine. The large intestine then continues and it moves towards the rectum. That is the place from where we defecate. We remove the waste from our body. Now moving on to what is digestive system and why do we require digestive system? One basic thing which we need to understand is that we humans require food for performing our day-to-day activities. So for that, we consume food, and food is an organic compound which is complex. And our body needs to digest, needs to break down so that we can utilize those materials to provide energy to our body. So what do we do? The digestive system converts the complex food substances that we eat into a simple form, into a simple absorbable form, which our body can absorb is called digestion. So this is the point here. You can see that conversion of complex food substances to simple absorbable substances is called digestion. Next, moving on to what are the 6 basic functions of digestion. So the first most basic function of digestion is to start the digestive process, we need to consume food. So here, the consumption of food is known as ingestion. So as you consume food, as you take your morsel in, that taking in of morsel is known as consumption of food. The next step just after the consumption, as you consume your food, your secretion starts. So basic secretion in your mouth is saliva. That will moisten your food, that will allow the food to go from your mouth to the next compartment in your gastrointestinal system. The next you have is motility. What is motility? Motility is required for the passage of food from one compartment to the another compartment. So motility is movement of food from one compartment to another compartment. After it has moved to the stomach, after it has moved to the small intestine, now the process of digestion begins. The digestion is what? Digestion is breaking down of bigger food molecules into a smaller food molecule. Once we have broken down the bigger food molecule into smaller food molecule, next what we will do is we will absorb the nutrients. That absorption of nutrients is called absorption. Absorption is what the body absorbs. So here you have the simple food which is getting absorbed in the body. Last is throwing out of waste material. That is defecation. So these are the 6 basic digestive processes which we need to understand in detail. Next, the picture here to understand how the system looks like in real. Okay, so here you see this picture here on the right hand side. This is a picture taken of a cadaver's body. What is a cadaver? Cadaver is a dead body. So you can see here, this is how in reality the system looks like when you open up the body. Next part, let's move on to the layers of gastrointestinal system. What are different layers of your gastrointestinal system? Remember your system from mouth to the rectum. So from ingestion to defecation. The process requires lots of working, lots of hard work that is not done by a single muscle. You can see here so many different layers of tissue is present to carry out all the functions we discussed in the previous slide. So let us move on to the different parts of the gastrointestinal system, starting with the mouth. The mouth is formed by the cheeks, the hard and the soft palate, and the tongue. So here you can see your cheek is forming the walls of your mouth. The hard and the soft palate forms the roof and the floor of your mouth, and the tongue is the organ which will help you push the food backwards. Okay, so it moves the food backwards, and that is how your food will be engulfed. When we're talking about mouth, these are few terms which we need to understand. What is labial frenulum? Labial frenulum is a place on your mouth which is marked by an elevation. So where your nose and lips, okay, between your nose and lips, you see a elevation. That elevation is called labial frenulum. The two muscles here, buccinator muscle and orbicularis oris muscle, these are the muscles required for mastication of food. What is mastication? Chewing of food. Next, hard palate and soft palate. So when you move your tongue towards the roof, okay, you will feel that you have a hard palate, and on the back side you have a soft palate. Why do we require hard palate? What is the function of hard palate? Remember, the most important function of the hard palate is to separate your respiratory system from gastrointestinal system. So here you have a hard palate which will separate your nose from your mouth. That is the main basic function, and that will allow the food to stay in your mouth. Soft palate is a place where the tongue pushes the food and the food is then engulfed. That is how you gulp the food down. And uvula, if you see, you will see a small, bulb-like structure which hangs in your mouth when you open your mouth wide. So you're in the picture, if you want to see, this is the uvula. This is the uvula I'm talking about. And the hard palate is in the interior portion, and the soft palate is in the posterior portion. This bulb-like structure, uvula, the function of it is to close the nasal passage when you take in the food. So this is what you have to understand. Moving on to the next part, we were talking about secretion. As I told you that as you take in the food, the next is the release of secretory juices, and that is the saliva in the oral cavity. Okay, secretion of saliva increases as you take in the food. That doesn't mean that if you're not taking the food, there is no saliva. Saliva will be present because you cannot make the tissue go dry. So the saliva is always present, but its secretion increases when you consume food. There are 4 types of glands which secretes saliva: labial, buccal, lingual, and palatal. So on the basis of where they are present, I will show it to you in the next slide. They are named where they are present. If you can just look at it here, labial, lips, buccal, mouth, lingual, tongue, palatal is palate. These are the places where you will find your salivary glands. And there are 3 pairs of salivary glands: parotid glands, submandibular glands, and sublingual glands. So you're in the picture which will explain you where these glands are present. So if you understand your parotid gland is present just right in front of your ear. This is where your parotid gland is present. Just below the parotid gland, okay, you will have your tongue, and below the tongue, you will have your sublingual gland. You will have your sublingual gland. And where you have your mandible, the place where we called our jawline, the jawline will have the submandibular gland. These are the three glands: parotid gland, submandibular gland, and sublingual gland we have. Moving on to the next part, that is the composition and function of saliva. What is present in saliva? It looks like water, yes. 99.5% of it is water, and only 0.5% of solute is present in saliva. And ions which are included in saliva are sodium, potassium, chloride. We will come to it why we have these ions in our saliva. The normal secretion, how much saliva do we produce daily? We produce about 800 to 1500 ml of saliva on a daily basis. There are also protein secretions present in our saliva. They are known as ptyalin and mucin. Now, one thing which you need to remember is that the parotid gland, submandibular gland, and sublingual gland, these three glands, their secretion is a little different. Not all of them produces the same type of secretion. Parotid gland produces watery liquid secretion which contains amylase. Okay, the submandibular gland, same cell as in parotid, which releases watery liquid, plus it releases the mucus cells. And the sublingual, which is present below the tongue, it releases more of the mucus. Now, need to understand two things: why we have water and why we have mucus. Water is required for the dissolution of whatever you have taken in your mouth, and mucus is required for making it slippery so that the food easily slips down the throat. So here, few questions for you all. What is the function of mucus, function of chloride ions, function of lysozyme and secretory antibody present in the saliva, and the pH of saliva? The function of mucus, I already discussed. It is required. It is used for giving that slippery texture to the food so that the food easily slips down the throat. Function of the chloride ions, this is required for activation of certain enzymes. What is the function of lysozyme? Remember, your mouth, you consume food, there are certain bacteria which also you're taken in. Your mouth is the organ which is always in contact with the air. So whatever the foreign material enters, it needs to be killed. The body tries to kill it in the mouth itself. You require lysozyme, which will kill all the harmful bacteria which is trying to enter your body. And secretory antibodies, again, the protection towards the bacteria or any foreign substance which tries to enter your mouth. And the pH of saliva is more towards the neutral. So it is on the neutral side, but towards like around 6.5 to 6.7. That is the saliva pH.